back-to-back 34-point games, and Steve Kerr post-game is talking about whether or not Jonathan Kuminga, for about the 15th time, has turned a corner.
He looked legitimately great. And I think it's interesting of what Steve was noting. It wasn't 34 points in back-to-back games. It was the small things, the little things that separate guys who are just around from guys who can help you win. And those are things that Jonathan Kuminga straight up does not do. Jonathan Kuminga has spent his entire NBA career, and this is going to come off as extremely pejorative. I just mean it to be lightly pejorative. But he has spent his entire career worrying about how Jonathan Kuminga can look best, not how he can help the Golden State Warriors best operate in the game he's playing. I know it's not as negative as that. I know that that's not exactly what's going through Jonathan Kuminga's mind. And, I got to get mine. But it has not been an altruistic form of basketball that we've seen from Jonathan Kuminga. And as I'm watching Saturday's game, I'm thinking to myself, man, Kuminga's bought in. He's doing the things that Steve Kerr wants him to do and that he's called him out publicly for doing, that he hasn't done for years on years on years. That's really nice to see. The idea, though, that this is going to be some permanent state from here on out is laughable. It could happen. I can't tell you that this isn't Jonathan Kuminga actually turning the corner because the evidence is on the court. He looked great, and he looked exactly as the Warriors needed him to on Saturday night. But the idea that this is going to stick around, like, how many times do you need to get fooled? Jonathan Kuminga has had games like this before. Maybe not recently, but games like this have existed in Jonathan Kuminga's career arc. And then he goes back to being Jonathan Kuminga. And it's, again, 240 games of NBA basketball. I don't care how many times you say that he's 22 years old. He's been in this system for 4 years, and he's just now learning how to play in it. And we have one game of evidence in the last 2-3 months that points to him understanding how to play in the system built around Steph Curry. And by the way, before we go any further on this, the system is built around Steph Curry. The team is built around Steph Curry. So the idea that they should just blow it all up and build around Kuminga is ridiculous because you have to literally blow it all up. You got to get rid of everybody other than Jonathan Kuminga because all of those guys were built to play in a Steph Curry system. And oh, by the way, when Curry's on the floor without Jonathan Kuminga, the Warriors have one of the best offensive ratings in the league, 122 points per 100 possessions. When JK's on the floor without Curry, it's 104.